I'm here to talk about a topic that I've been thinking about talking about for a little while, and that is the topic of writer's block and how I deal with it. Most of us have probably experienced some form of writer's block or something we would classify as writer's block. You really want to write something, you sit down and you just can't get the words to come out of your brain and onto the screen or the page or whatever you're doing. Or you can't even bring yourself to get as far as being sat down. Or you're halfway through and all of a sudden you're like, I can't write this scene. What even is? Meltdown. That's exactly how it happens. So I decided I would share with you my tips and tricks for dealing with those meltdowns when they happen to me, because I think they happen to all of us at some point or another. Now keep in mind, I've never had really severe writer's block. I don't feel like. I felt like I've always been able to get myself to write. Something big to remember, especially if you've written a book and you're thinking about writing the next one, but you don't know you're having writer's block about the next one, either the next one in your series or just the next book you're going to write. Something that I encourage you to do is to remind yourself that you have a track record of book writing and you can do this. Sometimes I just have to be calm about it. Sometimes I have to be like, you know what, I could be stressed, but I know that I have a track record of coming up with stories, so it's not a concern, really. I trust my brain about this. I don't trust it with much else, but about this I trust it. Now I know you are sick of hearing this and everybody has this advice, but it is true. Sit down and write. It's gonna hurt, it's gonna feel clunky and janky and terrible, and you'll be like, I don't even want to look at it. What is this horrifying thing that I've spewed onto the page? But you have to do it anyway. It's gonna be uncomfortable sometimes, it's gonna be not fun, but you remember, you probably have experienced at least one writer groove where you were really flying and really enjoying yourself. So remember that time and use this janky, wonky, difficult time to push you into that. And remember, you can't edit a blank page. If there's nothing there, you can't fix it. Another way that might help is to schedule your writing. I'm fairly disciplined with my writing, not as disciplined as I could be. I'm okay with that. But scheduling your writing might really help you if you give yourself a specific time where I'm going to sit down and write. Usually I do it in the morning before work, as you know. And some days maybe I have to go into work earlier and I don't get my writing done. And you know what? I forgive myself for that and I don't stress out too much over it. Those are two very important things. Schedule your writing time. If something forces you to miss your writing time, something like work forces you to miss your writing time, that's okay too. Forgive yourself for that. However, don't let too many little things get in the way of your writing time. That's why you did schedule it. That makes it a priority. But let's say you're in the middle of your book and you're having trouble right now. You have a scene in your head but you can't translate it onto the paper. You're having some sort of hold-up or hitch. What do? Well, a lot of times I go for a walk. I like to walk my dog. We walk all over the place, and while I'm walking I am thinking and working out, and the cogs are turning how to deal with this scene or this problem that I might be having. Because apparently my brain works if my feet are moving. I don't know, there's some sort of correlation. And 9 times out of 10, and I'm not kidding, 9 times out of 10, I will come back and I will sit down and be able to write that scene no problem. I just needed that time to step away from it and to think about it and let it churn in my brain while my feet are moving and I'm walking the dog, and I'll come back and it'll be perfect. Well, not perfect, but you know, it'll be on the page, and that's perfect as we get around here. Sometimes it helps to talk out the scene, either to yourself, or to a pet, or to a writing buddy. A lot of times I'll either talk out a scene to myself, up to and including saying all the dialogue of the characters to myself, sometimes while I'm out on a walk. And a lot of times if I'm having trouble, I'll talk to my husband about it, describe the scene and ask him, these are the things I'm tossing around. So find somebody whose opinion you value and bounce stuff off of them. There's absolutely no shame in doing that as a writer. You don't have to do everything yourself. I also encourage you, as you set up your writing space, to get yourself in the mood with certain music or certain smells even. I know a lot of people don't think about this, but when I write, I use a scented candle. My favorite one right now is pine scented because it smells kind of naturey and it gets me in the mood. I'm writing a fantasy book right now. And of course, for me at least, music while I'm writing is super important. I have a lot of video game and movie soundtracks that I listen to because I can't really listen to anything that has lyrics. And I have all my playlists set up. I have my general playlist, which is just a lot of different instrumental music for just writing regular scenes. And then I have my sad sad music for writing sad scenes, and my action music for action and fight scenes. Now, some people swear by a change of location when they're writing. I prefer structure and to be writing basically in the same place every time, but some people find that getting out and going out and maybe writing at a coffee shop can really shake some of those cobwebs loose, so you can give that a try too. Or if you're like me, you find that you get in the writing mood by getting in the writing place. You go to the place where you always write, you sit in the seat where you always write, you light your candle, you put on your music, and your brain, at least my brain, goes, alright, this is all of the things that happen when we write. Pavlov's response, we're writing now. Sometimes it helps to take a break from your writing and read for a little bit. See what somebody else is doing. A lot of times I will find that if I take a break, voluntarily or not, if I have to take a break from writing and I read something or I listen to a book on tape, it gets me really in the mood to write again, and so I can go back and do it without too much problem. Sometimes also my brain needs a little bit of a break from whatever thing I'm writing at the time, so I can go write something else that's light, like a quick fan fiction or a short story. Something that's more just for me and is quick and easy. I also encourage you to make art. Draw out your scenes if you draw, or find pictures online that best go with your scene if you're having trouble with it. Now here for you is my biggest piece of advice for writer's block. Okay, this is the big one, the one that really helps me a lot. Stop calling it writer's block. Because if you label it as that in your brain, you are basically allowing yourself to decide that you are stopped, you are stalled, it's going to be so much work to get through this situation, this is a bad situation that you're in. I might call it a slump, but I never call it writer's block if I at all can help it, because if I go, this isn't writer's block, no, this is a little slump, this isn't full-blown writer's block, are you kidding me? Then I can much more easily get past it. So I really encourage you not to allow yourself to think of it as writer's block. Just be like, I'm having a little trouble, I'm in a little slump, I'm going to try some of these strategies, heck, maybe I'm in a big slump, maybe I haven't written for years, I don't care, still just a slump. You know what, I can go back anytime, in fact I'm going to go back right now, I can just do this, not a problem, it's not writer's block. Do that. Do that. Don't diagnose yourself with writer's block like WebMD diagnoses everyone with cancer. And so go forth and write amazing books, my children or not so children, whatever. And I hope you will vlog about them because I love to hear about what other writers are doing. Feel free to comment below if you have any strategies for dealing with writing slumps. Writing slumps, that's all it is. And remember, if you liked what you saw here, like, subscribe, blah 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 blah, and of course, share it with your friends. And I'll see you guys all again next time with whatever I'm doing next time. Bye!